The Laws of Ascension, Chapter 68, Rematch. Today's the last day of our individual blocks, Rowan says as he, Sarah, Vera, and Lorik eat breakfast. Yeah, so make sure you win, Sarah tells him, causing him to sigh. It sucks, we won't be able to watch each other's matches. I wish they could have had them all in the same arena instead of all at once in 4 arenas. Vera says, they'll have tomorrow's matches in the big arena, so we'll be able to watch then. Lorik says, causing her to shrug. Who do you think we'll be paired against, assuming we all win today's matches? Sarah asks. Personally, I'm hoping I don't get paired with Lorik. She adds, causing Lorik to smirk. Why not? Rowan asks. I don't think I'd be able to handle his wolves and him without him getting too close. In a melee fight, I'm sure to lose. I just don't have the strength to keep up. She replies. Yeah, I can see that, Rowan replies before closing his eyes in thought. Then I guess I'd want Lorik as my opponent. He adds, Why is that? Vera asks him. No reason, really. I just think he'd be a good challenge. I haven't been able to really feel my power law's effects yet. Most students haven't trained their bodies with items or techniques using laws, so their physical strength levels are a few below us, Rowan replies. Speaking of, have you thought about if you want me to use acupuncture on you yet? Lorik asks. I have, and if it's not too much trouble, then yes, but it'll have to wait until after the tournament. Rowan says, causing Lorik to nod. That's fine. I have to get the needles from Torvin anyway. You have to use special needles that you can't get here. They just don't sell them in the capital. Lorik says before sighing, That should have been a clear sign that it's a foreign technique, Lorik adds, muttering and causing Vera to laugh. Sarah and Vera's bracelets suddenly start making a ringing sound. They each tap them, causing them to go silent. It's time, Sarah says before standing up. They leave their dorm and lock up behind them. Have any merchants come to you yet, Lorik? Vera asks as they walk toward the arenas. A few, but none with good offers. One tried threatening me, Lorik says before laughing. What about threatening is funny? Sarah asks as he calms down. No, it's just that he tried threatening me with Fox. He bragged about being close to him. It was so hard to keep a straight face when he started his rant. Lorik replies, Is that why you burst into laughter yesterday when the girls were out? Rowan asks before Lorik nods. Here we are. Good luck, Vera says as they get to the arenas. Make sure you make it to the last 4, Sarah says. Same to you. I want all royals to make it, Rowan says, causing Vera to sigh. You see what you've started? Vera asks Lorik. Hey, he only realized he's the only non-royal because of you. Lorik replies, causing her to scoff and turn away. They all go their separate ways and enter their respective arenas. Lorik enters his and walks to the waiting room. He waits for a few minutes inside before being called to the arena stage. He looks through the audience for Leora. She didn't have the time to stop by before the match, but she said she'd be in the stands watching. Nixfang finds her first before Lorik does. Even though she's in his soul, she can see what he sees. Lorik steps onto the arena stage and smiles upon seeing his opponent. It's been a while, Lorik, Alira says, standing across from him. It has. How have you been? Lorik asks, causing her to shrug. Same as always. I've been focusing on my storm law lately. This match won't be anything like the last one, she says, causing him to laugh. Good. It'd be boring if it was, Lorik says before the professor clears his throat. Are the 2 of you ready? He asks as Lorik takes his soul weapons out. Yeah, he says as Alira nods. Then begin, he shouts before jumping back to the edge of the stage. Raging storm, Alira shouts while holding her hands up. A massive dark gray color magic circle appears above them. It covers the entire arena before getting covered in dark storm clouds. Rain starts raining down almost imminently. In a matter of seconds, the cloud starts pouring down. As the cloud appears, Lorik's beast paws appear over his gauntlets. The rain is freezing cold and quickly soaks Lorik's uniform. Alira gets soaked too, but she doesn't seem to feel the cold. Summon Wolfpack, Lorik says before sprinting toward Alira. As he does, an ice spike shoots up where he was. 4 wolves jump out of a magic circle behind him. It follows him as he runs. The wolves run ahead of him toward Alira. Body of frost, she says before her body starts emitting mist. The rain that soaked her clothes froze instantly. It turns into a layer of ice armor protecting her body. Even her blue hair freezes as she pulls her left arm back. She waves it forward, turning the rain on the ground to ice. A wave of ice appears heading straight for Lorik. He jumps out of the way along with his wolves. The ice shatters before more rain swiftly fills its place. Should I use either of my trump cards? No, this situation isn't dire enough. Besides, neither of them would be all that helpful here. Lorik thinks before sighing. 2 more wolves jump out behind him before running. The now 6 wolves split up in pairs of 2. They run around Alira, circling her as Lorik charges her. Ice spikes appear, attacking both Lorik and his wolves, but all they do is slow them down. 2 of the wolves charge Alira from behind as Lorik gets close. Alira smirks before stomping the ground. Lorik quickly backs off as his 2 wolves leap for Alira from behind. The soaked ground around her freezes as ice shoots up. Ice and spikes shoot off the ground 6 feet all around. One of Lorik's wolves got stuck in the ice, but the other managed to break free imminently. Alira turns her head upon hearing the ice break. The wolf tackles her to the ground and opens its jaw to bite her. Before it can, the mist pouring off her grows and expands. The wolf freezes before shattering and disappearing. "Your spell's gotten stronger," Lorik says, causing her to shake her head. "I wouldn't say that. I could do this last time, too," Alira says while standing back up. "But it's a bit too powerful to use on people during matches. Best case scenario, I'd only freeze off a leg," she adds, causing Lorik to laugh. She looks at him confused before he shakes his head. Lorik waves his hand, and his 5 remaining wolves all start moving. The ice Elria created disappeared, freeing the wolf stuck in it. "Increase gravity," Lorik says, causing a magic circle to appear and cover the entire arena floor. The air turns purple as the spell takes effect. Alira and the professor both feel their bodies get heavy. The rain coming down from the cloud above speeds up and hits harder. Lorik and his wolves remain unaffected. He and his wolves close the distance with Alira. She waves her hand again, sending another wave of ice toward a group of 3 wolves. However, with the increased gravity spell in effect, it moves slower than before. It takes longer for the ice to travel and for it to freeze more of the rain. The 3 wolves quickly got out of the way before getting hit. Alira turns to face Lorik, who's only a few feet away now. A magic circle appears below him, and Lorik jumps to his right. An ice spike shoots out as a wolf sprints past it. It had been running behind Lorik, so Alira didn't see it coming. She tries to wave her hand again, but the wolf tackles her. The mist pouring off her thickens again, but a wolf's howl stops it. Her soul shakes as gravity weighs it down. She loses her concentration and drops her head. Before she can fully regain herself, 3 more wolves are on top of her. One is standing with its 2 front paws on her chest. Another 2 are each at her side, with one of her arms in their jaws. The last one is standing above her, looking down at her head. The magic circle of Lorik's heavy wolf bite spell spins below her. The mist pouring off her thickens, but the wolves bite down on her arms. They break through the ice and draw a bit of blood. She stops before sighing. The storm cloud above them disappears before she opens her mouth. "I yield," Alira says before the wolves in the magic circle below her disappear. Lorik stops his increased gravity spell before helping her up. "I didn't think your gravity spell would have that much of an effect on my ice," Alira says, causing Lorik to smile. "Me neither. I was just hoping it'd slow you down," he says before a healer runs up. They heal the small cuts on Alira's arms before they leave the stage. Leora runs down to meet Lorik in the halls. "Congratulations, are you okay?" Leora asks Lorik as they meet up. Lorik is still soaked from the freezing rain. "I'm just cold," Lorik replies while shivering. "I'm sure. I could see both your breaths out there on stage," Leora says before turning and walking. Lorik walks ahead of her, back to his dorm to change. "Do you think the others won their matches?" she asks as they walk. "Probably. We are Team 1 for a reason," Lorik replies. They quickly walk back to his dorm in silence. Once Lorik's inside, he runs upstairs to change. Leora looks around downstairs while waiting. "Leora, what are you doing here?" Vera asks while walking into the living room. "Lorik's upstairs. He got soaked in freezing rain during his match. I'm waiting for him down here. But I take it your match is over?" Leora replies. "Yep, and I won. Did Lorik win his?" Vera asks as Lorik walks into the room. He's wearing a black shirt and torn jeans. "Yeah, I won. I went up against Elira again." Lorik tells her, causing her to sigh. Lucky. My opponent wasn't all that strong. They used illusions to try and trick me, but my law was able to destroy them with the slightest scratch, so the match wasn't too difficult. Vera says, "Did you fight that woman before?" Leora asks Lorik. "Yeah, back about a month ago now. I didn't have my gravity law back then, and I wasn't a 4th tier lesser mage, so I lost that match." Lorik replies, causing her to sigh. "How are you 4th tier already?" "I've had my law for almost 8 months, and I'm only 8th tier," Leora says, causing Lorik to chuckle. "He entered enlightenment," Vera says, causing Leora to nod. "Does enlightenment really boost your levels that much?" Leora asks herself. Regardless of that, I'm at the academy designed to help students improve their mage levels. Don't compare your progress to anyone else's here. We spend our days comprehending and practicing our laws. You can only spend 1/10 of that time doing so every week if you're lucky. That's why I gave you that flower," Lorik says, causing her to sigh. "All right, I'll eat the stupid flower," Leora replies with a slight smile.